Hello, I'm Chris Williams from Read Comics, They're Bad For You, the name of my YouTube channel. Or, if you're watching this on BitChute, the name of my BitChute channel is Comic Freak. Today we're going to be talking about South Park and how oh boy did they ever anger the Communist Party-led China. The name of this article that we're going to read is South Park Scrubbed from Chinese Internet After a Critical Episode. Yeah, China went through the trouble after being angered by the creators of South Park to scrub every mention of South Park from their own personal internet. Every post, which comes to billions apparently, or at least their internet they use in China. Anyone who ever tries to look up South Park now is basically told the file you are trying to look at is now illegal and you will be barred from seeing it. That's what they're getting now, or something to that effect. It's amazing and funny. Mainly because the episode that South Park made that got him banned was talking about this exact thing. But let's read this article and see what they're talking about. After the Banned in China episode mocked Hollywood for shaping its content to please the Chinese government, Beijing has responded by deleting all clips, episodes, and discussions of the Comedy Central show. South Park creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone probably saw this coming and, to their credit, simply didn't care. The most recent episode of South Park, Banned in China, has been generating loads of media attention for its sharp critique of the way Hollywood tends to shape its content to avoid offending Chinese government censors in any way whatsoever. Now those very same government censors in the real world have lashed back at South Park by deleting virtually every clip, episode, and online discussion of the show from their Chinese streaming services, social media, and even fan pages. Like the plot of the very episode that they were going to mock China with, Trey Parker and Matt Stone have found themselves banned in China. And it's just funny. A cursory perusal through China's highly regulated internet landscape shows the animated series conspicuously absent everywhere it recently had a presence. A search of the Twitter-like social media service Weibo turns up not a single mention of South Park among the billions of past posts on streaming service Youku, owned by internet giant Alibaba. All links to clips, episodes, and even full seasons of the show are now dead. And on Baidu's Taiba, China's largest online discussion platform, the threads and subthreads related to South Park are non-functional. If users manually type in the URL for what was formerly the South Park thread, a message appears saying that, according to the relevant law and regulation, this section is temporarily not open. Like I said earlier, maybe not in those words, but this is exactly what is happening in China right now. It's like something from South Park. But no, Trey Parker and Matt Stone would be a lot more creative. The draconian response is par for the course for China's authoritarian government, which has been known to aggressively censor Winnie the Pooh because some local internet users had affectionately taken to comparing Chinese President Xi Jinping to the character. On Monday afternoon, creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone issued a statement with a Fox apology about the ban. Like the NBA, we welcome the Chinese censors into our homes and into our hearts. The statement reads, "We too love money more than freedom and democracy. Xi doesn't look like Winnie the Pooh at all. Tune in to our 300th episode this Wednesday at 10. Long live the great Communist Party of China. May the autumn's Sunghum harvest be bountiful. We good now, China." South Park's Banned of China episode featured a pair of storylines critical of China. One involves Randy getting caught attempting to sell weed in China and getting sent to a work camp similar to those Beijing has been using in Xinjiang province to hold as many as 1 million Chinese Muslims. For political indoctrination while he's at the work camp, Randy runs into an imprisoned Winnie the Pooh. A second plot follows Stan, Jimmy, Kenny, and Butters forming a metal band, which becomes popular and attracts the attention of a manager who wants to make a film about them. But then the script keeps changing so that the film can safely be distributed in China. "Now I know how Hollywood writers feel," Stan says at one point while a Chinese guard watches over him and alters his work as he writes the script. Several shots are taken at Disney, including a scene where Mickey Mouse shows up to make sure all of his employees or other Marvel and Disney cartoon characters play ball with the Chinese authorities. Now, a very funny part is where basically Randy Marsh is at a meeting with all the Disney characters and is basically there when Mickey Mouse is yelling at them, saying what's holding up his business. And Randy offers him weed so that Mickey will calm down and to help him distribute it in China. And it's very funny. Mickey Mouse is now helping Randy Marsh distribute weed in China while saying, well, do I own South Park? Because he doesn't know what that is. Apparently he forgot what South Park was. Here's a tweet about Stan's manager in the episode. You gotta lower your ideals of freedom if you want to suck on the warm teat of China, he says to Stan and the rest of the band. When he keeps telling them not to do anything that will basically cause their biopic not to be shown in China. It's very funny, and you gotta check out that episode, Banned in China, when you have the chance if you haven't seen it. And I have to say, this is a great character. He also manages, apparently, the PC Babies, the children of PC Principal that premiered last season. But let's get back to this article. The episode's critique has proved especially timely in light of the controversy now swirling around the NBA. On Sunday, Houston Rockets general manager Daryl Morey issued a tweet expressing his solidarity with Hong Kong's pro-democracy protesters. Although just a single tweet from one among the hundreds of NBA executives, the message sparked a deluge of criticism in China, where the Hong Kong protests have become a hot-button political issue, with Beijing's propaganda apparatus going into overdrive to shape local opinion of the movement as anarchistic and untethered to legitimate political grievances. Chinese broadcasters announced they would stop airing Rockets games, and local sponsors pulled their funds from the team. Evidently fearing the financial implications of the Chinese backlash, the Rockets and the NBA have since disavowed Morey's comments. Can't be surprised there. These owners of these teams would rather, well, as they said, suck the warm teat of China than stand up for freedom and the American way, because they're a bunch of greedy little bastards. Now, capitalism is the best way to go when you want your society to work, but when you're headed by guys like this, you can't expect anything but bad things to happen to you. Yes, they're greedy capitalists, and that's a good thing, but they're willing to step on their fellow Americans to try and get China's favor, and that's a bad thing. Now, Americans, when we see this kind of behavior, we tend to start tuning out, meaning we will stop watching their shows if they continue to. And what I'm going to say also applies to any other corporate head who tries to make deals with China, but willing to screw over their fellow Americans. If you continue to do this, you're going to lose a lot more money, because China really doesn't care, and no one in America will continue to watch anything you guys make, because we won't tolerate it, and we won't even be able to relate to it, because it's more or less made for Chinese people, not Americans. So go ahead, continue to treat China like a never-ending ATM machine, because you think your money comes from there now. So go ahead, keep trying to suck on that warm teat of China. We in America won't buy anything you make or produce anymore, and you'll all be in the poorhouse. I'm sure China won't have a massive economic downturn, because communism never works, and that eventually that recession China will probably inevitably have will cause them to no longer be able to afford to buy anything from America or even be able to watch any of your movies. So thus you having to go back here, but we in America will no longer even tolerate your behavior. Meaning we will no longer look at the franchises or movies you make, because you're not only trying to make them basically for China, but you're also trying to make them for NPCs and social justice warriors by putting all those agendas in there that you think young people are so into, but in reality they are not. They just want to watch escapism when they want to watch a genre movie, not be talked down to about feminism and racism from a bunch of creators who either believe in this stuff and are brainwashed, or don't believe in any of this NPC stuff and are just trying to look trendy. But this basically means the American consumer will no longer want to look at any of this stuff, because they no longer feel anything that would actually make them want to watch it, because it's all made for people who are not them. Because the creators of these movies and products think there's millions of people out there who are into this stuff. In reality, there's like only 5 or 4 of them online. Now, if you like this video, subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed because YouTube is going around unsubscribing people, so make sure you're still subscribed. If you're watching my videos but you have not subscribed, please subscribe to me. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Read Comics, They're Bad For You. Then go over to BitChute and subscribe to my BitChute channel, Comic Freak. Hit that bell for notifications, hit that like button, and leave some comments down below. And could you please share this video, share it on Twitter, and share it on Facebook, because YouTube is not going around promoting their YouTube creators anymore, and it would really help me if you could please share this video. And now listen closely, I'm going to plug for my independent comic book again. Keep checking back in future videos for more information on my own upcoming independent comic book, Scumdogs. I'm Chris Williams, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another video or review.